guys, welcome to Parts Factory Australia. This is actually our first tutorial video, but today we're actually going to be starting off with the Mazda 6, or very similar to Mazda 3, Mazda CX7, CX9, window reg lifter motor installation, pretty much. First things first, obviously grab your package of your new part, inspect to see it's what you have ordered. Hopefully you haven't stuffed it up on that end. Now, you won't be able to tell if it's correct until you get the piece out, but if it's obvious, I'd probably stop there because you don't want to be putting all your stuff back together and waiting for the correct item to turn up, which could take a few days. Okay, first things first, determine what tools you're going to need. Now, from experience, I've done this a few times, you will need a Phillips head screwdriver, a pry tool of any type, and any form of 10mm socket. Start by removing the inner handle surround. Remove your inner handle surround. There's a Phillips head down here. I believe there's not actually that much else holding it. These master control switch units, it's always good to remove them before going any further. With this sort of thing, sometimes it's better to have a nice sharp pointy edge. There you go, just leave that there. Should just, pretty much grab it from here and just give it a quick pull. Just confirm there's nothing there. Just take it out like that, pull that one out. It's basically just the interior lighting for when you're getting into the car. Put your door card on the ground, face up. Back to your pointy screwdriver, in on that plug, pull it up, tuck it out of the way. 3 screws. Now, just for your information, guys, when you are changing this, it doesn't actually matter the position of the window regulator to start with. This has a pressure sensor in it, so regardless of the position of the window when you start, this just takes up the slack pretty much. Now, it's probably one of the more fidgety parts, just lining the teeth up with the pre-existing sprocket. What can happen is the inner housing actually falls away. Seen this before too. The way you fix that is there's a little locator here, and that locator actually has to be tucked in there nicely. Sometimes what you need to do is actually plug the master control switch back in as if the door card's actually on right now and it's all together, and you can actually spin the motor ever so slightly. Chuck your key in the ignition and you'll see the motor turn, and that might actually help us locate up this the teeth into the pre-existing reg. Please pair a device. So we should be able to now use this motor, hopefully. Line up the bolts, like so. Put your screws back in. Feel free to do one up at a time. It's only plastic, so it'll actually self-tap its way in. Don't tighten it fully. Yeah, it's just self-tapping it in. Fine. Now, like anything, putting stuff together is usually a little bit more time consuming. Just realised I've got to put this window back down. Putting your window down is always easier for doing this task. Just because lining up that door card along the top, you'll see what I mean, I'll show you in a second. So just chuck your window all the way to the bottom. Yep. To be honest, guys, this is probably the hardest part about this install. It doesn't necessarily take any brains, but there you go. Okay. Grab your door card, guys. Bring your plugs for your window reg up through the hole before you actually get too far into it. Here. Now, attack the top first, and bear in mind your little tweeter wire if you would like to plug that back in. Attack the top first. Now, hold your wires with your hand if possible, or have someone else, or even just tape them. And guys, honestly, all you're doing is tucking the skin, the door skin, over the top of that metal piece. And you'll notice it just sits there nicely. You're lucky this car's easy to do that. There are some cars where that can be an absolute pain in the ass. Anyway, now it looks like it's all pretty much lined up at that. The handle seems to be in line, it seems to be level. Now, there's clips all the way around, as you would have saw when you had it apart. You should be able to literally just tap them around, but if it doesn't work the first time, don't force it. If you force it, you break the clips. The clips are cheap as chips, but they take 3 or 4 days to get to you, so I prefer to have it done right the first time. Awesome. Anyway, let's put our screws back in. You have the screw in the center here. This is the one screw that is important to get right, as it does take all of your force. Get your couple of drunk girls in your car one night and they pull on that too hard, like, let's go babe. They'll break it. That'll be embarrassing. Might end up going home alone. Get your bolt in there. Next is your switch. Now it's always good to, once you get to a milestone point like this one, check that your work's still working. Otherwise you'll be doing it all again. You learn from your mistakes over time. It has a locator at the back, like that. That's just what I just explained there. Kind of has to go in and clip. Yep, that's it. That's it, real easy. The final step is to put your tweeter housing back on. It should just be a pressure clip.